Sobriety sucks. That ain't no clickbait. It truly, to be sober, that just sucks. And it's actually one of the reasons why there's such a high relapse rate and why coaches are in so much need is people don't want to live like that. So let me explain what I mean. First of all, this is the Fall River, one of my favorite haunts. I love coming down here. It's good for my spirit, my soul. By the way, coming down here is not living sober. This is living large. But here's what it means. To be sober, the definition of sobriety or sober is to be serious, to lack emotion. Look it up. To lack emotion. It doesn't make any sense to me. As a coach or even in my journey of recovery and wellness, it makes no sense. We are an emotional being. And to label ourselves with a word that says, no emotion. I actually show more emotion, deeper emotion, real emotion, and I don't run away from emotion by numbing myself with any substance or behavior at all. So it's about, sobriety is also about gray. Had a few notes on this one. Humorless. Are you kidding me? Look at my Superman shirt. I love being fun. I love playing. Play is so good for the brain and our spirit. Dreary. That's being sober. You got to be dreary. Dull. Grim. Oh, I love this one. Gloomy. My life is gloomy. Why? Because I'm living sober. That's a crock. And that's the wrong goal. Here's why it's the wrong goal. The brain. Here's a brain truth out of neuroscience. And we know this now also in psychology and neuroscience. What we say and what we focus on, the brain focuses on. So a story is, if you're working with a guy who's smoking or a gal who's smoking and doesn't want to smoke anymore, you say, what do you want? They say, I don't want to smoke. Okay, what do you want? No more smoking. Okay, what exactly do you want? No more tobacco, no more cigarettes, none of that. Okay, you keep telling me what you don't want. My question is, what do you want? And the minute as a coach or a minute as a person, you focus on what you get, not what you give up, your brain shifts. The brain begins to change. So here's a quick test. I'm going to share something with you. Do not focus on the next thing I'm going to say. Do not focus on the Eiffel Tower. That big, tall thing in Paris, that big, tall thing. And most of you right now had a picture and had a vision because the brain does not hear, it hears Eiffel Tower. Now imagine saying that, I do not want to gamble. I do not want to eat ice cream. I do not want cocaine. Imagine your clients or you saying that. Well, the brain focuses on the thing that you just mentioned. So the question here is not what it is you want to give up. What do you get? And that's a powerful change in therapy. It's a powerful change in coaching. It's a powerful change for any of us to live our lives and dedicate to what it is that we want. Running a residential recovery program for over a decade, a couple thousand people. I had the honor and the privilege of interviewing almost everybody that came in the doors on day one. And I'd ask a series of questions just to get to know them. I really wanted to ground them. I wanted to know them. I wanted to know they're a safe place. But one of the last questions was, that's pretty cool, there's a boat with some fishermen floating down the Bow River here. But one of the last questions I would ask them is, if I had a magic wand right now today, and I could, boom, help you overcome one thing. And I ask you this, and you can use this with your clients. If I could help you overcome one thing with this magic wand, what would it be? Now, seriously, I expected to hear, end my addictions, end my drinking, get rid of the suicidal thoughts. My gosh, please help me get over my anxiety or depression. Dave, get rid of my anger and rage. I have a short fuse. That's what I expected to hear, and logically, my brain went there. But I began to hear, Dave, I just want to be happy. Well, I heard that a few dozen times, and I started to, why is everybody saying this? And then that turned into more than a few dozen times. And then I began to get curious. What exactly does that mean, to be happy? That led me to my studies to dive deep into the world of happiness. And this is the absolute opposite This is the absolute opposite of sobriety. Because the deep end, when you go deep into happiness, there's one word. It's a new word for me. It's my new favorite word in the world. Eudaimonia. That's it. Eudaimonia. Eudaimonia is a Greek word. It comes from the days of Aristotle. And eudaimonia means long-term happiness. Not short-term pleasure, which we get from eating ice cream, smoking, drinking, behavioral challenges. That's short-term pleasure, which creates typically long-term pain. And as I began to study this and try this out with the clients, this is spot on. What they want, what I want, is to live a flourishing life, a thriving life, a rich life, and a life of abundance. And I position this and share this with you because if you're struggling, more than likely it's what you want. At least that's our studies, both in person and practice, and my academic studies have taught us this. Eudaimonia, long-term happiness or well-being. And when you look at the word well-being, that just doesn't mean my physical self, although yes, it's important. It means my spiritual self, my financial self, my relationships, my business, what I give in the world. All of these things are part of well-being. The moment you leave this thing called sobriety and focusing on that and understanding, you define this question, what do you want? And if I asked you this question, if I had a magic wand and could help you overcome one thing today, what is it you'd like? What's the result? Whatever that answer is, I encourage you to follow that. Because when you change your brain, you are going to begin to create a brand new future. You can tell I'm passionate about this for myself. I'm passionate about this for our coaches. And I'm passionate about sharing this with you. And if it helps anybody, that's awesome. That's just awesome. But I still stand by sobriety sucks. Don't tell me I'm living a sober, boring-ass life. A rich, fulfilling life of abundance with great relationships, great places, great work, and great people. Join us, hit subscribe, put a comment in. What's your favorite part of this? If you think sobriety sucks, why? Share that in the comments. I'd love to read that. Okay. Rise above. Have a powerful day.